Hi, my name's Miranda. We're going to do some movements that help to free up tight hips. If you have super tight hips, so are struggling sitting down cross-legged or other positions, you might want to do my first tight hip video, which is all lying down, is really gentle and really frees up very tight hips to get you sitting cross-legged again more comfortably. But this video is a bit of a move on from there. We're going to start off with the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, and soften your knees, hands on your hips, and circle your hips. So just moving in a way that feels good for you. Close your mouth, breathe through the nose. It's a much more calming breath, a much healthier breath. And maybe close your eyes too. It can be really nice to really listen to your body. So just moving in a way that feels good. And then take the circle in the other direction. And this can be a really good movement to do if you've been doing a lot of sitting, if you've been driving or sitting at a desk. Do this afterwards. And then come back to center. Feet back to a hip distance apart, arms by your sides. Inhale, rotate your upper arms out and then take your arms up towards the ceiling. Reach up, lengthen. And exhale, take your arms over to the left, lengthening the right side of your body. Inhale, take your left arm down. And exhale, reach and stretch. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, take your right arm down. And inhale, reach and stretch. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, take your arms down. And then bend your left leg. And take your right arm up towards the ceiling. And inhale, root down with your right foot and reach up with the right hand. Lengthen. And exhale, come out of that stretch. Bend your right leg. Root down with your left foot, reach up with the left hand as you inhale, lengthen, reach. And exhale, come out of it. Bend your left leg. Root down with your right foot. Reach up with that right hand as you lengthen, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, relax out of it. Change legs, so right leg bends. Inhale, left arm, reach up, stretch, root down with the foot, and come out of it. And then we're going to come into what could be a balance, but if you feel you'd rather use a wall just to hold on to or a chair, do. We're going to stretch out around the hip. So bring your right knee up, catch hold around the shin. So you might have one hand around the shin, one hand giving you support, otherwise both hands. Push the floor over with your left foot. Make sure your neck is nice and free. Make sure you're lifting your breastbone. And breathe deeply. Really push the floor away with your left foot. You'll feel a bit of spaciousness in that left hip. So muscles working as well as lengthening. Long deep breaths again through the nose. And then let go. And hands on your hips, or one hand on the hip, one hand on the wall. Inhale. Exhale, raise your knee higher. Inhale, lower it a little. Exhale, raise it higher. Inhale, lower. Exhale, higher. And keep going. So moving with your breath, we're working the muscle on the front of the hip. Warming it up where we're going to then stretch it in a little while. Oh, now I'm wobbling as I talk. So just moving with your own breath. and come down. And shake your legs out. And then coming onto your other foot. Bring your left knee in. We're going to catch hold around it again, so use the wall if you need to. Push the floor away with your left foot. Draw that leg in, lift your breastbone. And again, breathe deeply. Listen to your body. Push the floor away with that standing foot. Again, breathing in the nose and out of the nose. And then let go of the leg. Hands on your hips. Inhale. Exhale, lift the knee higher. Inhale, lower it a little. Exhale, lift it higher. Inhale, lower it a little. Exhale, lift it higher. And again, keep going. Listen to your body as you move. And come out of it. And shake your legs out. And then I'm going to come sideways on the mat, so I've got space behind you. So make sure you've got space behind you. Feet hip distance apart. And then inhale again, rotate your arms out, take the arms up, lift your breastbone. Exhale, bend your legs. Chest onto your thighs, hands on the floor, legs are bent. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs just as much as they straighten, and they might not go straight. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten them just as much as they straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And just again a few more times. Now if you have very tight hamstrings, again you may want to do the first of my hamstrings videos, or either of them, to really access those muscles. Then bend your legs, step back with your right foot, and then bring your knee to the floor. Inhale, lift your knee up and reach back with your right heel. Exhale, bring the knee back down. Inhale, lift the knee, reach back with your heel. Exhale, bring the knee back down. Inhale, lift it, reach away with the heel and hold. Stay. Breathing deeply through the nose. You want to have your left knee above the ankle, so just making sure those bones are stacked. Long, deep breaths. And then bring your right knee to the floor and the front of the foot flat. And come up with your hands on your hips. And just tip your pelvis back a little bit. So just so you feel the stretch in the front of that right hip. Pelvis tips back a little. Then take your left hand onto your left thigh. And inhale, take your right arm up. Reach up and open up into a little bit of a back bend. You can use your left hand to push. Giving yourself a lovely sense of openness and lift. Breathe. Breathing deeply. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, take the hands to the floor. And then take your left foot to the outside of your left hand. So just heel toe that foot to the left. And we're then going to circle the hips. So just as big a circle as feels good for you. Again, really listen to your body. It's about what feels good, what feels right for you. And you may feel actually your hips are very tight and you need to have your hands on something higher. And that's good too. Just making it accessible for you. Then take the circle in the other direction. And sometimes there are clicks. Coming back to center. Tuck the toes under the back foot. Lift your knee, reach back with your heel. And stay here for a moment. Breathing deeply. And then if you're able to, step that right, come up onto your fingertips and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Otherwise, just take your time and step forwards. And then bend your legs, sinking down into a bit of a squat. Then straightening your legs, folding forwards to give the back of the legs a stretch. Bend your legs and come up. Reach up, lengthen. Exhale, hands to prayer. Feet together, hip distance apart. Arms by your sides. Inhale, rotate your arms, take them up, lift your breastbone. Exhale, bend your legs, hands to the floor, and then straighten your legs as much as they straighten. Again, bend your knees, and you might be up on your fingertips here. Then straighten them as much as they straighten. And again, bend and straighten. And then bend, step back with your left leg. And again, bring the knee to the floor. Keep the toes tucked under. So again, you may need blocks here, just to give you that extra lift. But otherwise, inhale, lift your knee, reach your way with the heel. And exhale, bring the knee back down. Inhale, lift your knee, reach back with your heel. Exhale, bring your knee down. Inhale, lift. We're going to stay here again. Breathe. So again, the knee above the ankle. Make sure your neck is free always. Long, deep breaths through the nose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Slow breaths. And then bring your knee to the floor and the front of the foot flat. And come up again. Hands on your hips again. And again, we're going to tip the pelvis back a little bit just to access that stretch in the front of the left hip. It can be very tempting otherwise to lean forwards in a lunge. And lunge forwards. Bring your right hand onto your right thigh. Take your left arm up and lift your breastbone. Use that hand again to really push the thigh up, the thigh away as you reach up with that left hand. Breathe. Think of the length that you're creating from your knee all the way up to the fingertips. Breathe deeply. And on an exhale, come down to the floor. Again, maybe there are blocks underneath your hands, but we're going to take the feet, right foot to the outside of the hand. And again, we're going to circle. So circling the hips. Again, just listening to how that feels. Just moving in a way that feels good for you. And take the circle in the other direction. And come to center. Tuck your toes under the back foot, lift the knee, reach back with the heel, and stay there. Breathing deeply. Again, you may find you need to come forward more slowly, but if you are able to come stepping to the outside of your left hand, fantastic. And then sink down into a little bit of a squat. And folding forward, straightening your legs as much as they straighten. Then bend your knees. On an inhale, come up. And exhale, hands to prayer. then we're going to come wide on the mat. So take your feet fairly wide, knees pointing, so feet pointing out, knees pointing in the same direction as the feet. So don't take your feet wider than your knees can go. And we're going to have the hands on the thighs, leaning forwards. So you want to have a nice straight back. Inhale. Exhale, push the left thigh away with your left hand and look over to the right of your right arm. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, push the thigh away with your right hand and look over the left arm towards the left behind you. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, push the left thigh away, look over your right arm. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, push the right thigh away, look over to the left. Inhale, center. And then coming up, as if you're on a really big fat horse. Bring your hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale, straighten your legs. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend and stay here for a few breaths. Breathe. You may feel you can sink a little lower. And come out of it. And bring your legs back, shake them out. Then we're going to have hands on the hips again. We're going to circle the legs, preparing for tree, very traditional yoga pose. So coming onto your left foot, again you might need the wall. We're going to circle. Just circling that thigh. And foot down. And circle the left thigh. So forward out to the side and back. And come down. So again, using the wall if you feel you'd rather have the wall. But to come onto your left foot, take your right knee out to the right. Hands on your hips, just to make sure your hips are facing forwards. You might find you come to rest on the left foot. You might find you can bring your foot up a little higher. You might find just with a little bit of help, you can bring your foot to the inside of your thigh. But with your hands on your hips again, make sure your hips are facing forwards. Take your knee out as far to the right as it can go, but where the hips are still facing forwards. Otherwise, you're twisting your standing knee, which is not good. Push the floor away with your left foot. Go taller. Lift your breastbone. Hands to prayer. And gaze at a soft focus in front of you. Something that's not moving. Just gaze softly. Breathe deeply through the nose. And you can have your hands wherever you feel you want them. You could take them up. You can open them out. But just wherever you feel you want to have your hands. Having them in front of your chest is much more centering. And come out. Shake your legs. And the other side. So again, open the knee out. Hands on the hips to make sure you're not swiveling your hips around. So again, maybe that foot, or it could even rest on the floor, but it might rest on the standing foot. It might come higher, or you might give it a little bit of help, but don't force it. It might come to the inside of the thigh. Again, hands on your hips. Make sure the hips are facing forwards and take the knee out to the left as far as it goes. Lift your breastbone. Push the floor away with your standing foot, go taller. And bring your hands to prayer. And again, breathe deeply, gazing softly at something in front of you. Long, deep breaths. And come out of it. And again, shake your legs out. And then we're going to finish off just with a very balancing movement as we started with. So if again, feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, hands on your hips, soften your knees and circle. And again, close your eyes, listen to your body, and just observe how you feel as you move. Again, just moving in a way that feels good. Noticing if you feel a bit different now than you did at the beginning of the class. And take the circle in the other direction. Again, just breathing slowly through the nose. And come to center. Feet back to hip distance apart. Om Shanti. Peace. Please subscribe to my videos if you enjoy them. It really helps me to continue to make them. Thanks.